Well, welcome back to the most news in the morning. President Obama's own party undercutting his plans to try to close the detainee camp at Guantanamo Bay. Senate Democrats say that they're pulling the $80 million from a war spending bill, which he requested to close Gitmo. They say they need to know more about what the president plans to do with the detainees first. And that is a big question. There's one Republican lawmaker who says he's going to do everything possible to make sure that Gitmo detainees do not end up here on U.S. soil. Joining us live from Capitol Hill is Republican Senator James Inhofe. Thank you, Senator, for being with us this morning.
Nice to be with you, Kieran.
Why are you so strongly opposed to allowing detainees from Guantanamo into the U.S., either for detention or perhaps for trial?
Well, the problem is, and they had suggested at one time, this came out of the White House, that they have some 17 places in the United States where they would put these detainees. Now, the problem with that is that becomes magnets to terrorism, and I don't think, in fact, 27 of our states have passed resolutions in their state legislatures not to allow them to come into their particular states. So, you know, there's a good reason for that. The other problem that I have is that if somehow they come into our country and we can't use tribunals because we don't have the facilities for that, they go into the court system, they could very well be turned loose because the rules of evidence are different with tribunals, or with, I should say, the detainees than they are normal criminals. So that's a serious problem. I go one step further, though, Kieran, because I don't want to close Gitmo. It's a great resource. Every team that's gone there, including Eric Holder, has come back with glowing reports on how well people are treated. One doctor for every two detainees. It's just no place where they can be treated as well as Gitmo. It's a great resource.
All right, so I understand that you're saying that we should keep Guantanamo Bay open. This is something that the president has said, and it's become really a huge lightning rod for criticism around the world for us. Perhaps things are going well there in terms of the day-to-day care of these prisoners, but isn't it turning into a problem for us in terms of how we're viewed by the world, holding them without trials in Cuba?
Well, there are some other choices, and those people who are critical of that should realize the only other choices are they could either turn them loose because their countries won't take them back. These people would be back as terrorists trying to kill people in Afghanistan and that type of thing, or they can shoot them. You know, the most humane thing to do is to keep that facility open where we can conduct those tribunals. We have a special courthouse there that complies with the rules of evidence that we're actually prepared to do. So I don't think there's just not an alternative.
All right. Well, let's get back to figuring out what would happen. We have these super maximum security prisons here in the U.S. If indeed this does go forward, they safely house mass murderers, rapists, pedophiles. We also have detention facilities on military bases that are operated by highly trained military personnel. You don't think that those facilities could keep some of these detainees secure at the same time protecting the surrounding communities?
No, I don't, Kieran. I'll tell you why. I went down to one of the facilities they talked about was Fort Sill in my state of Oklahoma. I went down there, and Sergeant Major Carter was in charge of the facility. She had 2 tours of Gitmo, and she said, "Senator, what is wrong with these people? We can't handle them down here. We're not set up to handle terrorist detainees. We don't have the facilities for it. Nowhere does." Now, here's an expert who says the only place that she knows of anywhere in the world would be Gitmo. And again, there's just no logical reason to close it.
Let me just ask you about, there have been, though, here in the United States, a number of people who've been convicted on terrorism-related charges in U.S. courts. They've gone through the U.S. courts. They've been held in our U.S. prisons. Why can't that be replicated with the Guantanamo Bay detainees?
Because those individuals were actually criminals. They actually committed crimes and were not involved in the type of a terrorist activity as we've been experiencing in Iraq and Afghanistan. And once they come in, you have to do something with them. I think it'd be a very bad precedent for us to even start or even consider trying these people under our laws when the rules of evidence are different, and there's no place in the United States that we can do it. And this isn't just my opinion. This is the opinion of everyone who's gone over there to look at it. And I would say also, the media that goes over that's been critical of Guantanamo all come back shaking their heads saying, "What's wrong with that place?" Hey, by the way, I have to say this, Kieran, it's one of the few good deals we have. We only pay $4,000 a year. You don't find a deal like that. We've been doing that since 1903. It served us well.
All right, well, at least for now, Senate Democrats seem to be on your side. They've pulled this $80 million from a war spending bill. They say they want to know more about the president's plans first, and then we'll likely free up the money. So we'll see where it goes from there. I understand that your colleague, Senator Inhofe's bill amendment is going to be introduced today.
Yes, the Inhofe amendment will be voted on today.
All right, Senator Inhofe, great to talk to you this morning. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you, Karen.